Real YouTubers have an intro with some gamer music that done something like this. That was really fast. Also, that's the first time I've spoken today, so if you heard a voice crack, that's why. Shoutouts to Montana Mott on Twitter for making this really sick version of the intro. He says that he used sample sounds from the DS era of Pokemon and was inspired by Cynthia's battle theme, and I think it's super sick, so wanted to show it off here. Yeah. Okay, so, did you think I was going to say there I was? Okay, I will. So there I was. Thinking about Ash Tomato Ketchup, okay? I'm thinking about his Pokemon. We made a video the other day showing off, or ranking all of Ash's Pokemon. I just went to this site, which is Bulbapedia, and I just went through and I looked at like all the Pokemon that he has. I included everybody from here. I did not include this section where he's traveled with, so no Tyranitar or Rotom or Nebby. Yeah, but pretty much everything else was fair game, and I went through and I ranked them like in terms of competitive viability. What originally started this process was I was thinking about what's the best possible team you can build with these Pokemon. So today's video is on that topic. What's the best possible team you can build with the Pokemon that Ash has traveled with? There's a couple rules that we're working with here. We should put audio levels before I move on. Looks fine. Yeah. The couple rules we're working with here. The first rule is that he has to have Pikachu on the team because it's Ash Ketchum. You can't have an Ash team and not have Pikachu. I think that should be kind of obvious. So we are going to have Pikachu on the team. And the other rule is that you can use any formie of the Pokemon that you see here. So for example, Venusaur's fair for Bulbasaur, Krabby's fair for Kingler, etc., etc. I surprisingly had an easier time. I've already mentioned I did this one. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. I did this twice. So we have two teams we're going to be looking at today. The first team is only the Pokemon that are legal in the current format. So a team that in theory you could use in the ladder. And the second thing is just out of all the Pokemon he's ever used, what's the best team I can make. Kind of surprisingly for me, I actually had an easier time in the current format. I think because I think the reason for that is because a lot of the Pokemon that are very strong on this team, or a lot of the Pokemon that are very strong that Ash has, are currently legal. So for example, Charizard, Snorlax, Venusaur, Torkoal, Scrafty, Jigglypuff, Hawlucha, Noivern, Incineroar, Mr. Mime, like Lapras, these are all currently legal. And a lot of the Pokemon that you'd add in that are good, like Greninja and Naganadel and Goodra, and Infernape, like and Crocodile, you know, there's already like a lot of these typings that are in the current, like that are in the good Pokemon of the current decks. The other thing that I learned while doing this activity, which I thought was interesting, is that I can't use any Steel-type Pokemon because the only ones he has had access to, which is Melmetal, who isn't going to be legal, and Solgaleo as well. So that's a legendary Pokemon, and we're assuming this is a non-legendary metagame. Basically, like if the way that Pokemon metagames work, or that official VGC like rules work, because they typically follow a pattern, which is like limited Pokedex, aka regional Pokedex, in 11, 14, 17, 20, and then national Pokedex in like 12, 13, 15, 18, and then presumably 21 every 3 years effectively, and then yeah, restricted metagame after that in like, you know, 16, 10, and then in theory 2020. So assuming that like that once the DLC comes out and all these Pokemon, you know, if all these Pokemon are added back in, we'd be playing in a national Dex metagame without restricted Pokemon, and mythical Pokemon are never legal. So Melmetal's not legal because it's the mythical, and Solgaleo we're not going to use because we wouldn't be in that metagame, and also since he only has one legendary Pokemon, also I didn't include these Pokemon in general, but even if I had, like, only having one legendary Pokemon would just make the team overall feel weird, because like if it's in a legendary metagame, then like everyone would have probably at least 2 legendaries, and yeah, it just feels weird. So basically, all this to say, there's no Steel type I can use, which made things a little bit difficult. Anyway, with that being said, let's look at the teams. The first team is a team that's currently... Oh, wait, no. The first team is a team that's currently legal, and you could use it on the ladder if you wanted. I'm working on getting the Pokemon in-game. Thank you to my lovely Twitch subscribers for helping me. We have Pikachu, Torkoal, Charizard, Venusaur, Gengar, and Scrafty, with half the team being Gmax Formies. I know the images don't show up, I'm sorry, it's just a limitation of the site. So, basically when I was building this team, the first thing I like locked onto was the fact that Ash has a really strong Sun Core in Venusaur, Charizard, and Torkoal. Torkoal being probably the best Sun Setter and maybe one of the top 2 Weather Setters in the format. Makes it very viable, and Venusaur is one of the best Pokemon in the format, and Charizard is a great offensive Pokemon. Honestly, a big problem with this team was I didn't know where I wanted the Focus Sash, because Gengar wanted it, Pikachu wanted it, and Venusaur also wanted it. So I settled on Focus Sash GMX Gengar with Trick Room. Effectively, in my head, this team has 2 modes. There's the Sun mode, and then there's the Trick Room mode. Trick Room Gengar is so that you can actually use, like, Scrafty Torkoal, in Trick Room. Like, you could do something like Gengar, Scrafty, and then Torkoal and, Venusaur or Charizard in the back, and just plan on playing kind of like a more defensive, slower-paced game in the meantime, and then, yeah, once Trick Room runs up, just try and get through the rest of the team with offense. You can also just lead with Sun Pokemon, or you can also, you know, you have a lot of options here. You could do Scrafty Charizard with Torkoal Venusaur in the back. You could do Pikachu and Venusaur if you wanted, or Pikachu Gengar could also be good. On this team, it is Light Ball Pikachu, so, yeah, so it's typically more, generally Light Ball Pikachu is more offensive compared to, like Focus Sash Pikachu, who plays more of a defensive support role. You'd mainly Gigantamax your Pikachu when you really wanted the paralysis effect. For example, if you manage to go up a Pokemon early, or if you really think that it's going to be beneficial to you later, you'd consider Gigantamaxing Pikachu. But yeah, it's probably one of the weaker links on the team in my opinion. I was debating whether or not Gengar needed Focus Sash, and I also was debating whether or not to run Max Speed on it, because you do have Trick Room, and that, you know, Max Speed is kind of contrary to that idea. But I think with this Gengar, the idea is it's not going to be fighting in Trick Room most of the time. However, if the opponent's team is super weak to Torkoal and Trick Room at a certain point in time, or if the opponent gets Trick Room up and you really want it down, then I think you could consider reversing Trick Room. I put Assault Vest on Scrafty over something like Rosalie or Lumberry, which I was also considering, because I was worried about opposing Trick Room setters, and I also thought it could be good just to give, like Lapras doesn't look super easy for this team. It definitely has a lot of tools to deal with it, but if a Sleep Powder misses, or if they get Tailwind up or something, it could be scary. So I figured, having Snarl, both to deal with Lapras and also to help against opposing Torkoal, Assault Vest Snarl, I thought could be kind of valuable. Because I'm worried about opposing Torkoal, I also gave my Torkoal Earth Power. This means that, it's easier to Dynamax your Torkoal in my opinion, because you can get special defense boosts, and you can also, have, Max Quake to opposing Torkoal. Yeah, so that's the general theory of the team. There's a couple different modes you can do. I probably will use this on stream, and I might make a YouTube video on it as well. So if you guys want to see this team on the channel, let me know down below in the comment section, which is below the video. Yeah. Like I said, I actually had an easier time making this. I feel like it there's a bunch of different, 2-piece modes and 3-piece modes that work together well. So, yeah, that was the easy part. Then came the hard part, which was Ash's National Dex team. I didn't want to repeat Pokemon, personally, just because, I don't know, I just didn't want to. I figured, of course you could just do, Garchomp, Torkoal, Charizard, Venusaur, but I didn't want to. So, not having a Steel type really felt like it hurt me on this one, because, yeah, I don't have a resistance to Fairy types, I just realized, although Lapras is so bulky and Superior is good as well. I think the Hawlucha slot is the one you could change. The problem was that I already had Incineroar, and so I didn't want to, add a different, I don't know, I didn't want to, add another Fire type, like Torkoal or Charizard, who also want to pair together. Yeah, so basically I built this team kind of around GMX Garchomp, or DMAX Hawlucha. We just have, a bunch of solid Pokemon here. Life Orb Dynamax Garchomp is going to be ridiculous, I think. Very, very, very strong. It's going to probably, we don't really, nobody really knows. This is just conjecture, but if I had to guess, it might force Intimidate. If you added just Garchomp into this metagame, for example, I wouldn't be surprised to see Intimidate, spike in usage, just because it's so powerful as a Pokemon, and the bulk is going to be insane. I don't even think you need Life Orb. I think you could run Weakness Policy or Yachi Berry, or a different berry on it, if you wanted. However, yeah, this is the set I currently chose. Yeah, this set has GMX Pikachu with Focus Sash. The idea here is that Garchomp is fast, but still is not so fast that it outspeeds everything like Dragapult. So having Pikachu as a partner to nuzzle Pokemon and to provide helping hand support is really good, as well as Fake Out support. Incineroar supports the whole team with Fake Out, Taunt, and Parting Shot. I didn't have great answers to Trick Room. Lapras and Incineroar were kind of my main answers, and so for that reason, I chose to have Taunt, Incineroar, and yeah, hope that would help versus Trick Room. If they were to lead a Trick Room setter and a Fake Out user, this should be Rough Skin Garchomp, I think, by the way. I also thought about adding Jigglypuff for the Sandval boost, but yeah, I think Rough Skin's probably better. But yeah, you can like Swords Dance and Taunt in front of certain Pokemon. It's like you expect a defensive turn or a protect from a Pokemon, and then probably just win the game from there. Gmax Lapras with Light Clay, that helps support Serperior and Garchomp. If you're doing Lapras with Gmax mode, you're probably always bringing like Lapras, Serperior, Incineroar, and Garchomp. That's part of the reason why I feel Hawlucha is a little weak here. I just wasn't really sure what to add instead. Like, I could have added Venusaur over Serperior. I guess I could have done like Torkoal Venusaur over Serperior or Hawlucha, but then I have double Fire type, which I didn't love. And Serperior gave me Fire, Water, Grass Core, and like Torkoal gets in the way of Lapras, and yeah, so that's why I did what I did. Yeah, I'm not sure if something else would have been better. I thought about Crocodile as well, but we already did Garchomp and Incineroar, so... but yeah, anyway, the idea here is also you have like a nice cheesy mode, and like if you want to try and cheese a game, which is Hawlucha Lapras, and you just Ice Shard yourself and then D-Max and Brave Bird Close Combat, that kind of thing. So you get Weakness Policy and a Burden in the same move. That's why we have a 0 attack on these in Lapras. Because like I like Paraslung on Lapras, but if you have Weakness Policy Lucha, you can, or if you drop Paraslung, you can get Ice Shard, which helps a lot with Lucha. So yeah, being able to self-proc Hawlucha's Weakness Policy is important if you're going to run Hawlucha, I think. So yeah, this is what I came up with. I'm not sure if it's like perfect or anything. I actually have more confidence in the first team, which I closed out of by accident, but that's fine. Yeah, but that's the team. Those are the Ash teams. So very short video today, I realize. Much shorter than my normal ones, but that's okay. I realize I don't all have to be like half an hour minimum. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know what you think of the teams. And wow, short video. We're ending early today. Okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.